patches, selling, buying, and other sim racing news right here, right now. Welcome! You're watching WromWrom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and our regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. Things are moving in WromWrom land, I tell ya. Now that Ike's computer works again, we're doing our 5,000 subs celebration next Saturday, starting at 1900 CET and driving Wreckfest. This is a party for all members of the WromWrom family, so all of you are invited to wreck with us, chat with us, and just have fun. 23rd of March, starting 1900 CET and going on until none of us can anymore. Because getting the WromWrom family to 5,000 subscribers and now almost 6,000 is something to be celebrated. We'll finish discussing the details in our Discord, so join us there. And if you don't yet have Wreckfest, it's on sale for about €12 USD or complete with all DLCs for 23. More about the spring Steam sale and sim racing later in the video. And speaking about family participation, get your schedule free for April 20th. We'll be part of a very interesting race and donation drive for a very good cause. Write the day in your calendar, and if you want to race in Spa on Assetto Corsa Competizione in an endurance race, there's still place in what we hope will be the biggest roster of all times. Our Kick Cancer Drive for Dean race and broadcast will be epic. We're finalizing the details, so we'll tell you more about it the nearer the date. If you want to race in it or if you want to commentate, again, come into our Discord and we'll get you sorted out. Oh, do you hear that? That's the news. Let them in. Are you new to sim racing or kinda new? First of all, welcome to the family. Second, now that Steam's on spring sale, here's our recommendations. We start, not surprisingly, with Assetto Corsa Ultimate Edition, the evergreen with all of its DLCs for €8.48 or USD. Best way to enjoy it is to get the custom shaders patch from Ilya Yusupov. Great graphics, better physics, a complete rejuvenation of a 10-year-old sim that still is the most beloved of them all. VR works with no fiddling. Next one's our favorite. Check our ranking up there, Automobilista 2. You can of course just get the basic version for less than €20 USD with lots of cars and tracks, or go max with the all-inclusive bundle. All DLCs until the end of 2023 with extraordinary cars and tracks. Yes, on sale still a bit over €70 USD, but it has Le Mans. And a lot more. Best VR experience in sim racing. If you want great fun in rally driving, get yourself to Dirt Rally 2. While the basis has an excellent price of €5 USD, get the Game of the Year edition for €10 USD, which has almost all DLCs. But don't expect good graphics on VR, the sim's too old for that. Last two ones are one half of our recommendation, great sims with some issues. Our Factor 2 has an infuriating price policy for DLCs but offers great driving. VR is okay-ish and we're not sure if it will see any further updates, but there's tons of mods for it. Assetto Corsa Competizione is concentrated on the SRO and offers GT3s, GT4s and GT2s with different quality. DLC prices are okay, driving is good, sounds are great, VR is good if you have a powerful GPU. Sure, there's more racing out there, but these are our recommendations. The first two we consider must-have for anyone interested in sim racing. If you have a different opinion, well, that's what the comments are for, right? Kunos being an Italian company, they may not have realized delivering anything on April Fool's Day, April 1st, makes it intrinsically funny to a big part of their customer base. In any case, the 2024 pack DLC for Assetto Corsa Competizione, which seemingly will bring the Notch life with it, has been scheduled by them for the 1st of April of this year. no joke. Coincidentally or not, Digital Bros, owners of 505 Games and therefore Kunos, published their earnings report this week with a loss of 6.4 million euro and a debt of over 50 million euro, which is more than their whole revenue in 2023. And that even with the enormous amount of people they put out of a job. And it seems they are as good at management as they are at typing and proofreading, as Assetto Corsa Competizione will release the Notschleife. Notice the typo nobody at Digital Bros noticed. This has nothing to do with the state of Kuno's work, as Assetto Corsa alone dropped over 12 million euro in sales in their coffers last year. The Bros' management must have squandered the money somewhere else. F1 Manager 2024 has been announced for release this summer, and the impressive list of new features announced amount to 1. No, really, one new feature, which is creating your own new team. Guess it's the only way we'll see Andretti Motorsport in Formula 1 ever. As I already said in our podcast, I don't expect anything of this game and will skip it as I skipped F1 Manager 2023. Oh, and you can subscribe to a newsletter, but be very wary of their more than sketchy privacy options. Don't trust them even as far as you can throw them. Rennsport wants you to know they will release something important this Tuesday, the 19th of this month. We don't expect a software release, but rather the roadmap, something they've been hinting at since January. Keeping with Rennsport, they now have Southeast Asia servers, so all of you in APAC can enjoy Rennsport with as low a ping as possible. Of course, there will be league races and events specific for the region and the servers. Things may get a bit wonky in the world of expeditions, as Embracer, the company owning Saber, who have released all SnowRun games until now, including Dakar Desert Rally, have sold Saber to its own management and divested themselves completely from any investments in Russia. Now, we don't know if the Russian angle weighs heavier than the flops delivered with Dakar Desert Rally and maybe Expeditions. They are not divesting themselves from all things racing though, as they kept the studios producing Redout, Wreckfest and Hot Wheels, among others. It's also important to know Embracer bears a debt of 1.5 billion US dollar and no chance to halve that debt, as they had projected to be able to do by the end of their fiscal year in Q1 24. EA Sports trademark WRC got an update to version 1.6, adding Andreas Mikkelsen as a WRC2 AI driver and fixing an issue in Monte Carlo that would crash the game if you were using ultra-level graphics. Also, they hope they fix frame rate issues in Japan, Portugal, Sweden, Kenya and Monte Carlo. You can now change the livery of the Skoda Fabia with no crash, and the developers got rid of further crashes in the podium and rally school. Some minor audio enhancements were made, as well as correcting some issues in the career, and most cars also got issues corrected. A lot of telemetry got added, and if your car fell through the map when restarting an event, this update should have fixed that. iRacing Season 224 has barely started and bam, they dropped a patch. Oh well. It's the nature of software. I'm always reminded of what a professor told me. No non-trivial piece of software is without errors. Unicode characters in your account name won't stop iRacing from starting anymore. The anti-cheat software seems to have stopped bugging out, but the developers themselves aren't sure, and because you're all thirsty for rain in iRacing, see what I did there, the servers were getting slow. A code review has reduced the load on the servers, or so the developers hope. Also, some different corrections have been done to the graphics around rain, like rain lights or the spray of rain. Also, the AI has learned to drive and pit better on ovals. Speaking about ovals, the possibility of bumps developing in an oval has been reduced. Also, the spotters got updated in different languages. And if you're using some of the weather telemetry, be advised it's been updated, as have been a lot of cars and their setups and many many of the tracks. See the link in a description to the full list. Last time we spoke about LMU in the news, we were wondering if the hotfixes were going to be all or if they were working on something bigger and in-depth, which is exactly what they were doing, as this last week they dropped their first official patch. In it, they fixed several software crashes, like when joining or leaving a multiplayer server, and added more logging so as to be able to find the root of some of the issues better. LMDH cars now switch to electric energy when entering pits. Where the settings save and load correctly, the triple screen tool has been updated and they removed 3 force feedback settings. And to address graphic issues, the default post FX is low. On the wheel side, they updated and corrected support for Acetic, Moza and G29 wheels. The AI has seen some smaller fixes. The sim will now tell you when the server is full, and you will get told if you haven't validated your email. Oh, and now seemingly you will always be sent to the right event, which seems it was not the case until now. Yikes. Also, they've done a ton of updates to what seems to be all of the tracks and most of the cars, which are all so diverse and so much all over the board, we won't be reading them here, but as always, we've added a link in the description of this video to the complete list. At least the flag display won't be messing up your view in the Porsche 911.